So these folks will be riding for hundreds of miles. They're riding from Connecticut to Washington, D.C., so let's give them as much energy as we can and bolster them on their way down south. Oh, they're coming, they're coming!
God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Thank you, Cantor Green, and thank you again to the whole Beth Orr family for opening your home to us today.
I think we all know that there is a suburban sensibility about us. We are common sense. We believe in getting things done. And friends, it has been far too long, and too many days have passed since the tragedy at Sandy Hook for us not to have changed our laws in Pennsylvania and in the United States. And so, I hope that as they leave here today, they take with them the spirit of our sensibility. And they take with them the promise of our action, that we will call on our legislators, that we will stand with our community leaders who stand with us with more than just words, but actual actions, to get illegal guns off our streets, to make our communities safe, and to ensure that the tragedy that happened in Sandy Hook, the tragedy that happens every day in our country, is once and for all put to rest because of sensible policies, common sense solutions, and people like all of you and people like them who stand up and do the right thing.
So what's my story? Why have I been given a voice? I unfortunately was in the emergency room at my local hospital as the emergency room doctor on call when the Sandy Hook tragedy happened. It was the toughest day of my professional life. When I went to medical school, I was at Lincoln Hospital in the Bronx and I saw a number of shooting victims. And I kept my mouth shut. I didn't say anything. And then I spent 3 years in Baltimore training as an ER doctor, gun victim after gun victim. I didn't say anything. I thought the way to treat them is to give them blood and crack open their chest and put them on respirators. It's prevention. You have more power than me. Once people are shot multiple times, what am I going to do? I try my best. It's prevention. But when Sandy Hook happened, I said, enough is enough. And they had a public forum in Newtown. All the state representatives and legislators came. And I got up and I had my 3 minutes.
Good.
And I let them have it.
Yep.
And I said, you know what? You're coming here basically to humor us. And I'm saying, can you, for once in your life, make the right decision? Well, you know what happened? My story got picked up. And all of a sudden, I'm on Piers Morgan and Chris Matthews. And then all of a sudden, a couple of U.S. senators picked up the story. A month later, I was testifying before the U.S. Senate. The same story. What can you specifically do? Specifically, if you can talk to your congressman, great. But you know what? You have local representatives. And you know what? They love talking to you. If there's a public hearing, go to that public hearing. They listen to you.
I am so proud of my teammates, the men and women of Team 26. We had a really rough day yesterday. You know, we started in a pretty serious snowstorm. I think we were all shivering for a good chunk of the day. And no one gave up. Everyone kept pedaling. People often ask me, you know, why do I do this? You know, why do I take the time, not just to ride my bike, but to speak out on this issue of gun violence? And I think it's fitting that I'm telling you this while in the synagogue. What many people don't know is that I'm only here because someone had the courage to speak out. My mom and my grandparents are Holocaust survivors. And it was only because a non-Jewish friend of my grandfather's told him what was coming, risking his life and having the courage to do so, that I am here. We ride because it doesn't matter whether you live on a one traffic light town or in a big city, gun violence impacts all of us. Enough is enough. We need to get this done. Let's pray that for next year, when we come back, it's celebratory and the plague of gun violence has ended.